Good afternoon. What a beautiful afternoon it is too. We've had 2 days of very heavy rain, which was just delicious because we've had about 2 years of drought, and I'm not sure that it's enough to officially call the drought finished, but it's certainly cleaned up the air, greened everything up, and given our farmers, a little bit of hope. Filled up a few puddles, giving the stock at least something to drink, and it will create a little bit of feed. But, I'm just up here enjoying myself, just connecting and being. And, I was reminded a couple of days ago of the difference between joy and happiness. We all want to be joyful, and everything that we want out of life, we want because we think we're going to be happier in the having of it. And that is a hint towards the difference between joy and happiness. Happiness is a great feeling, and yes, it helps us to move into the energies where life flows, where we can receive all of those things that, we may have been desiring. But happiness is a feeling that we get from something external, and it can be fleeting, because when outside circumstances, hello Jackie, hello Heather, hello Lena, when outside circumstances don't, line up for us, then that happiness isn't so easy to find. Whereas joy is an internal state, and we can claim joy in any time, any moment, and becoming aware of our thoughts and our feelings is the first step, because we realise that, our feelings emanate from our thoughts, from our perspectives that we take on life. And once we can cultivate deliberate thought, deliberate feeling, then life is awesome. When we can move into those states of joy and be joy without needing outside circumstances to align, then they do align, because that's what we're attracting. Like attracts like. We attract according to our feelings and emotions first. Yes, thoughts matter because they affect our emotions, and they also steer us in the direction that we want to go. Thoughts are our GPS system. But when we can be joyful, then we're attracting thoughts that are serving us. Hello, Gisela. We are attracting, a better quality of life. When from joy, we're attracting higher vibrations. Things that we have been wanting sometimes for a long time will just turn up. Life flows. One thing after another will keep appearing to surprise and delight us. We can physically move, from one place to another. Like I've come down to the gardens to enjoy this beautiful surrounding, and that lifts our frequency. But I can feel just as much as home, and just as joyful, sitting in the lounge room, whether I'm reading a book or just being by myself or just interacting with life. When we can choose those higher frequencies, even the interactions we have, the experiences and the situations, they change. When we're in those higher frequencies, that's what we're influencing our loved ones towards. That's what we're influencing our friends towards. We can choose joy, and we change the vibration of the universe. Just as when we choose other frequencies, and often we choose without even being aware that we're choosing. When we're grumpy, we think we haven't chosen that, it's just happened. But the thing is, we have chosen it by the perspective that we've taken. So whatever frequency we're in, it's altering the overall energy of the universe. It's changing outcomes for everybody. So, I'm passionate about uplifting, about empowerment, and, I'm passionate about my own life. And, I'm 60 and I've decided that I'm really not prepared to sit around and wait for life to happen. I've done that all of my life to a certain extent, and I have a lot of things that I want to experience in my life, so I'm calling them in. And I know that from those frequencies of joy, which is a pure frequency, whereas happiness is a high frequency, but it's often tainted with other frequencies because it's temporary and it's relying on outside circumstances. It's not so pure, and therefore, we often get mixed results. Happiness can come and go, and we might not see a lot of its effects in our life. But when we cultivate joy, and we can get there without needing outside circumstances to align, then, wherever we are and whatever we're experiencing, we can see through that perspective. And from a perspective of joy, all circumstances are a gift. We know that they're serving us. Two people can experience the same circumstance, and to one it'll be, the end of the world. It can be something really tragic and hurtful and sad. And to another, they can see that it's a gift because it's bringing expansion, it's bringing choice, and through acceptance, we move past it, we move on. When we resist something, when we get upset or angry with something, we're actually resisting the flow of that energy through us. And see, all of life is happening through us anyway. So when we are in those higher frequencies, we're allowing the flow. And those emotions, even though, we might get lower emotions come through us, we can look at it as a witness and allow it to pass through without it getting stuck, for a better word. When we resist something, it gets stuck in our flow. And we close our heart to it and we trap it inside of us. And quite often it gets trapped in our body, in the cells, in the memory. And it keeps coming up whenever a similar circumstance comes up. That memory will return, or that emotion will return. And it's thriving on our energy. So by disconnecting and witnessing and seeing these emotions come through, we can allow them to pass through and remain relatively unaffected. So, I choose joy in every moment. It's a deliberate choice for me. It's the first thing that I go for when I wake of a morning. And, I remind myself of it before I go to bed. But it's not just morning and night, I choose it. I'm so aware of my thoughts and my emotions that I keep touching base with it regularly. When I notice that I'm getting upset about something, I look at why. And I realise that I've just taken a perspective that isn't a higher perspective. And, when we remember that everything that feels uncomfortable is because that our thinking is not the same way as our inner being is thinking. Anything that feels uncomfortable is a lie for us, because our inner being won't go there. Our inner being knows the truth, is always love. And when we choose anything other than love, we feel uncomfortable. So, it's easy to remember that when we're feeling uncomfortable, that we've taken a perspective that's not serving us. and then we can reach for a new perspective. So find something to be joyful about. And you know, that joy comes from being just from existence, from knowing who we are. And when we cultivate joy, we also cultivate self-love and self-trust. You know, they're all tied together. Joy is a form of self-love. So, you know, choose joy. Choose to take the higher perspective. Choose to see life through the lens of those higher frequencies. And yes, use happiness as well. You know, if you need outside circumstances to help you get happy, then find those outside circumstances. But don't rely on them. You know, they're a delicious gift. But true joy comes from within, comes from inside. Hello, Molly. So have a beautiful day. Find something to appreciate, because that will move you into alignment. And really feel that appreciation. Don't just say it. Feeling is the key to our alignment, is our key to existence. It's our key to connection with ourself. Feeling without thought is the most delicious thing. It takes us into being and into presence. So have a beautiful day. My love to you all, and we'll connect again soon. Bye for now.